Hey everybody, how's it going? I am Kuit the Geek, and this is a channel update. I know that sounds a little boring, but stick with me. So first of all, I want to apologize that it's been a little while since you've heard from me. I've been really busy with trying to be with my family and everything. I had a really bad and busy semester last semester, and it really took me away from my family a lot more than I wanted to be. So I was just trying to spend some time with them. We did go off to Disneyland, and we had a big long week there. It was a great time. I have two small children and my wife, and so it was great to just kind of be together with the family and hang out. So the big question right now is just kind of where is my channel going? And honestly, I don't exactly have an answer for that. I want to share very openly what my motivations are and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I love electronics. I love designing circuit boards and doing firmware and embedded Linux. And I love messing around with Linux and playing technology-based video games. It's kind of why I got into Shenzhen.io. And basically, I just kind of wanted to do this as an outlet. And I kind of figured if I can make some money on it, then that's great, but that's never been my intention. I don't have any plans to ever go full-time YouTube. I do appreciate the platform. I love it, and I've been using it for a long time now, but I never really want this to be a career. So, there's a lot of things that I want to do. I work at a product development firm where I do embedded systems design and embedded Linux, and I love that, and it's so much fun, and I really enjoy what I do. That's why I want to just share it. But it takes care of me, and I'm not looking for some other job to do, basically. I always looked at this as a point of if it can supplement income, that's great. But if not, then it doesn't matter to me. If I really wanted to make a ton of money, I could be an independent contractor and do projects like that, and I would go that direction. And so, but it's not fulfilling. It's not what I want. It's not where I want to be with my life. And so this is something that I've been doing with the YouTube channel and trying to foster a little community and kind of get to know people and kind of share personal interests and collaborate on things. And so I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what it is you want to see so that I can make content and create this community that would be very interesting to people. If you want to see content about Linux, I would love to go through and show how to install Linux and how I run everything. I'm pretty much completely over to Linux at this point. I do have a Windows partition that I use for some video games occasionally, but I honestly haven't booted it up in a while. I between things like the Proton project and Wine, which is not an emulator, but it is a compatibility layer to allow you to run Windows programs on Linux. I can do probably 90% of what I love to do just on Linux, and I never have to boot up my Windows partition. And I would love to go through and share that if that's something that you guys would be interested in. If there's things like if you've never used Linux, or you might have some questions, or you want to know how to get up and going on things, maybe like which kind of distributions to look into, what things are user-friendly, what things you should be aware of as far as potential pitfalls and things. I would love to go through and talk about stuff like that. As well, other technical-based video games. If you want to see some videos on like PC Building Simulator, let me know. I think that would be a fun one to kind of go through. And I actually did computer repair for several years, and so I could walk through and talk about what all the components do in a computer. If you've maybe never built your own computer before, or if you wondered, or if you are interested in the game and you want to see how you would go about diagnosing and troubleshooting a computer. I have started the Professional KiCad series to try to be along the lines of a KiCad tutorial, but if that's not something that's interesting, then let me know. I'll move on to other projects, and I can kind of throw one of those out there occasionally. But if that is something you want to see more, let me know that too. I'll keep up on that and kind of show my entire workflow with how I'm doing everything. If you want to see basic electronic projects, or maybe you want to see me just kind of working on projects that I'm doing at home, and it'd have to be in kind of like an episodic manner where I would basically work on it for some time that I could and just kind of stream it more or less, but just kind of bringing you guys along for the ride. I'm happy to do that too. There's also Raspberry Pi projects and Arduino projects and different things like that maybe you want to know how to get that kind of thing up and going. And then there's the whole embedded Linux side of everything, of designing a small circuit board and actually running Linux on it. It's not exactly straightforward, but I'd love to go over it. It's an awesome thing to do, and it's really fun to make something run an operating system that's just it's something you've created. It's an amazing feeling, and I'd love to share that, and I'd be happy to make videos about that kind of thing. But I'm at the point where I have so many different directions that I could go, and I want to hear from you guys. I need community comments so that I know what it is you want to see, because to be frank with everything, I kind of watch the YouTube analytics, and my Shenzhen IO videos have done really well, probably because of Zachtronics being able to retweet them and getting them out into a wider audience than I started with which was basically zero. And my professional KiCad videos, just not very many people watch them. And so if it's an issue of just not knowing where to find me or anything like that, I can try to address that. But if it's just not something you're interested in, then let me know what you are interested in. Let me know what you do want to see. I have many things that I want to do. I just need to know what direction to take things. If there's something that, there's not really any other YouTube channels that talk about something that you're interested in, you want to know, that you think I can do, leave a comment below. Let me know what you'd be interested in seeing. So on another note, this video I planned to have be the conclusion portion of Shenzhen IO, where I went through and did the initial build-up and everything. I have actually 3D printed parts. I actually have the circuit board that I've designed right here, and we've got the whole thing that we laid out, and it's ready to go, and it's ready to be built up. I have all the parts and everything. I've just run into a few technical difficulties trying to get camera angles to work out, and I ran into an issue that I kind of knew I was going to have a problem with. I was just hoping it wasn't going to be as big of a problem as it was with the 3D model, and that was that I didn't include enough tolerance. So the board didn't fit into the box, and the box didn't really fit together, so I've got to do some minor tweaking on that and reprint it. But I have already done some major printing, and I have time lapses and everything, and all that's kind of ready to go. I have tweaked the code a little bit, so it should run, thanks to my friends in the comments who caught my typo. But that's pretty much where I'm at with that project right now. I'm really hoping to get that finished up here as the next video. But it's turning into a stumbling block, and I wanted to make it a good video that is professionally done and showcases everything and isn't poorly lit and wobbly or anything. And so I'm trying to just kind of work out a few things. But that should be coming up soon. I haven't forgotten about it. I do actually have an idea for a part 6, which I didn't intend to do, which is basically going back and reviewing the entire design, the schematic and everything, and kind of talking about some things that I would do differently as another run. To be honest, the reason I did the design the way that I did is because I already had all the parts on hand, and I didn't have to order anything for that. But if I were to professionally design it, there's a lot of things that I would throw on there. There's a lot of different things that I would do with it, and I'm going to plan on talking through that for a little bit and kind of showing some of the designs for how you would implement a more robust circuit than what I did. And pretty much that's where I'm at with Shenzhen IO in real life. On the professional KiCad side, if you have been following along with that series, there's a lot of things that I can do with that. and I just don't exactly have a clear direction myself yet. I've kind of been pulling it up and looking at it going, okay, what's the next thing I need to do, and here's how I would get to this step as I'm going through everything. But there's a lot of stuff I can cover as far as the next several episodes, which can be like how to integrate with Git or Subversion, some sort of version control, how you actually go about starting your your schematic, actually learning and going through all of the hotkeys for the programs. If you do use KiCad, I highly recommend you learn the hotkeys as fast as you can, because it is the fastest and easiest way to get around the program. I honestly don't even know really where most of the buttons are that do the things that I need to do, because I've learned the hotkeys. I basically started by learning the hotkeys. So I don't have to fumble around the GUI. I don't have to worry about trying to find some icon and then removing it, which they've done that, and trying to figure out how they've updated things. So that's another thing that I plan on talking about, but if it's something that people feel would be more beneficial to cover immediately, then I can do that. As well, I can go over like hierarchical sheets, like how I break a schematic into several logical parts. But that's pretty much where I'm at with professional KiCad. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is just that I've been struggling a lot with time. And it's been difficult to try to get back on top of getting videos and everything. And one of the things that's really motivated me to keep going with this is my Patreon supporters. I currently only have one, but it's something it's in the back of my mind, and it's generating a responsibility for me. I feel like I owe you guys content. I feel like I need to be getting this done, and it's one of those things that it's been a motivation to me to share my passions and share what it is that I love to do. Like I said, with Linux, with boards and design and all that stuff. And so it gives me that responsibility. And I appreciate that. But at this point, I am, like I said, kind of struggling with time, and things have been really crazy the last little bit, and I've just been trying to keep on top of it. And a lot of the time it's been on top of me. So I'm still just trying to get going with everything, and so there might be a few videos like this where it's just kind of a talking head video where I kind of go over some things and have some stuff going on, but I want to make good content, and good content takes time, and right now it's time that I'm struggling to carve out. So that's where I'm at with everything. That's kind of the state of the channel. That's where I'm sitting. I have been struggling a lot with a lot of things, but I'm trying to get back on top of it so that I can get content back out there. And so one of the big things that would really help me to know just kind of where I'm going, like I said, is for you guys to start commenting below and tell me what it is you want to see. I would love to foster a community and see a bunch of people that love circuit design as much as I do, or love some of these crazy technical video games that are just kind of off the wall that make you beat your head against your desk trying to figure out how to do something, or that stimulate your brain instead of just run and gun, and so there's that's one of the ways you can help support me and help me get good content out there. Another thing that I haven't really touched on before is that I do actually use Amazon affiliate links. I've got them in my descriptions, and I really haven't pointed them out or called out to them because I don't want to be that kind of channel. I don't want to be somebody who's saying, hey, look at this thing to sponsor me here, or check out that thing over there to give me money, or something to do to help me out. Honestly, anything that I make off this, I'm basically dumping back into it, as far as time and materials and trying to upgrade some equipment and some different things. It's it's not something that I'm doing to make this a job. I'm not looking to get that fat YouTube money and make it rich. I don't care. It's something that helps me share my passions and helps me pay for some of the hobby, basically. So one of the Amazon affiliate links that I have is actually to a book that I was recommended by one of my professors. It's called Practical Electronics for Inventors, and it's by Paul Scherez, sorry if I got that wrong, and Simon Monk. It's an awesome book. It goes over basically practical electronics, like all these different circuits that you might actually use, from filters to how to use microcontrollers and how inductors work, and it's a really good primer to help you design your own stuff. And it has great explanations that help you understand why these electronics are acting the way they are. And so if you have a basic electronics understanding, or even if you're seasoned, then you'll be able to dig into this book and learn some things that you didn't already know. And it's a fantastic book. I remember buying that as soon as my professor recommended it, and it actually helped me a lot through some of my electrical engineering courses. So that is something that you can take a look at. If you don't know how Amazon affiliate links work, basically it doesn't cost you any more. It's just the Amazon saves a little portion of their margin, their proceeds, and they dedicate it to what they call advertising funds. And so by me kind of pointing you to some of these places, they just shift the advertising fund, which is a very small amount, over to me. And it doesn't cost you anything different. It's the exact same price if you were to just navigate to it on Amazon, or if you use my link, it just helps me out a little bit that way. And last but not least, I want to thank my first supporter over on Patreon, Tom Van Loon, and I really appreciate your support. It has really helped motivate me again, and it's helped me want to make better content for you guys. So as always, if you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you have any comments, please let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to engage. I want to know what it is that drives my audience, so that I can create things you guys will enjoy, so that you can share it with your friends, so that you find your coworkers and have something that you guys would be interested in. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell icon, because that will notify you as soon as my videos come live. So if you haven't already, check out some of my other videos. I've got Shenzhen IO, where I dive into that, and there's a playlist for that on my YouTube channel. As well, check out my professional KiCad playlist and see some of the things that I'm doing for that. And I'll see you in the next one.